A loggerhead sea turtle is an oceanic turtle found throughout the world's oceans. It is a marine reptile and one of 7 sea turtle species. Adults average 3 feet in length and weigh approximately 300 pounds. The largest loggerhead found was 9 feet and weighed over 1,000 pounds. Their skin is yellow to brown in color and the shell is typically reddish brown. The loggerhead sea turtle is the world's largest hardshell turtle. The turtle shell is divided into 2 sections, a carapace and plastron. The carapace is the top or dorsal side of the shell. It is divided into large plates called scutes. The plastron is the underside of the shell. The shell acts as armor and protects the turtle. Unlike many other turtles, this sea turtle cannot retract their head and flippers into their shell. The males have longer tails and claws, and their carapace and head are wider than the females. They have large, powerful jaws that can generate pressure, which can crack open oysters and clams. Lacrimal glands are located behind each eye and used to eliminate excess salt from the ocean. Loggerhead sea turtles are omnivorous and have a wider range of prey than any other sea turtle. This diet can include sponges, sand dollars, starfish, gastropods, and bivalves. Their omnivorous diet is a huge advantage to their survival. Juveniles have not yet developed their powerful jaws and will feed more on jellyfish and other invertebrates. Female loggerheads will crawl up onto Florida beaches in the summer months during nightfall. They will pick a spot in the sand, dig a hole about 1.5 feet deep, and lay around 100 eggs. The mother loggerhead leaves the nest and returns to the ocean. The temperature of the nest will determine whether the turtles are male or female. A warm nest produces females and a cold nest produces males. The eggs will incubate for about 55 days. On the night of the hatching, they will dig their way to the surface and head for the sea. The survivors will swim offshore and find sargassum, which is a floating seaweed. They will crawl into it for protection. Hatchlings will ride on the sargassum into the Atlantic Ocean. After growing in size, they leave the seaweed and continue their journey in the ocean currents. These currents will take them around for miles. They reach maturity roughly at age 21. The females will begin their journey to the same beach they hatched on to lay their first nest.
Hi kids, we're here with my friend Jamie. She works at the Southwest Florida Conservancy and she's the Sea Turtle Research Conservation Associate. And we're here to learn a little bit more about loggerhead sea turtles. Can you tell us a little bit about your job with them?
Yeah, of course. So every night we go out onto Keewaydin Island and we look for moms. So we look for their tracks so we can find them. And they'll usually be digging up the sand. They'll put their eggs in the sand, and while we're out there, we'll put on little flipper tags. We'll give them pit tags. We'll also measure them. And then once they leave, we'll cage their nests to protect them from raccoons and other predators.
Right, well when nesting seasons start, what do you do to protect the nests?
So we do several things. On Naples City Beach, we just put in 4 stakes just to mark it off so no one bothers them. And then on Keewaydin, we put metal cages into the ground around the chamber, so this way nothing can dig in, like raccoons, bobcats. This way birds can't bother them as well, and they can incubate safely.
Okay, can you explain the life cycle of a loggerhead sea turtle?
Yeah, so it starts when mom comes up, lays her eggs. She'll leave them in the ground. They're all off on their own. They'll stay there for about 55 days until they hatch out. After that, they'll all dig to the surface by themselves. They'll make a mad dash to the water once it gets dark out. And then once they hit the water, they go into something called the frenzy. This is when they swim as fast as they can to escape predators such as fish and birds. And then once they get to the sargassum, it's floating mats of algae. They'll stay there for about 10 years. It's kind of a mystery. It's called the lost years of their lives. Then they'll swim back to shore as soon as they're as big as your dinner plate. And then they'll live there and keep on growing until they're 20 to 35 years old when they're mature enough. And then they'll start the cycle all over again.
Wow, that's amazing. How many nests do you usually see on Keewaydin?
We get an average of 200, but this year we had so many nests. We had 308.
Wow. What type of research is currently being done?
There's a lot of research. So we look at what their prey choice is through something called stable isotopes. It kind of tells us what they're eating. We put satellite transmitters on there to see where they're going, their migration patterns. We put piezometers next to the nest. They are a PVC tube with a ruler inside, and it measures the water level, so we know if they're getting inundated through the ground, so if water is getting into that nest. And then the tagging, it's a great way to get their life history.
I know you previously interned at Moat Marine Lab. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and what happened after the Gulf had that oil spill?
Yeah, we had a lot of turtles. We got 15 from the oil spill alone. All of them came to us pre-cleaned, so they had no oil on them whatsoever. That was done in Louisiana before they were flown to us. We were kind of like their final step in their care. We got them nice and fat, gave them some nice vitamins to keep them going, and then we released them all down here in the 10,000 Islands along with Disney and SeaWorld.
Great. Did you ever get any turtles at the hospital that went in from human causes?
Unfortunately, yes. We get a lot of entanglement, so their flippers get entangled in fishing line or the ropes for crab cages.
Just like our dolphin Seymour, yes.
Yes, Seymour. And then prop wounds into their carapace. We've also had one that ate about 5 hooks.
Well, what would you say to the students about helping sea turtles in the future?
It's actually really easy for you to help. If you see a plastic bag on the beach or even in the road, pick it up. Turtles think they're jellyfish. It's one of their favorite little snacks. Pick up fishing line if you see it. Any rubbish that you see on the beach is always a good thing to pick it up. And if you're out on the beach at night during nesting season, which is from May until October, try to keep those lights off because it can affect our moms and the hatchlings finding their way on the beach.
All right. And you do have a tag with you today.
I do. This is what we use to put on our turtles. They all have unique number sequences and letters. Also on the back have a return address. So if this turtle was to come up on another beach nest, they can track her back to us.
That's amazing. And this goes on the adults?
Yes, it goes on all of our adults. They each get 2. They go on their front flippers.
All right. And how can we see where the moms are today? I think you were mentioning the website.
Yeah, so you can look up our 6 sat tag turtles. You can go to, it's called seaturtle.org. In the search bar, put in the Conservancy of Southwest Florida, and you can see where our moms are now.
Keewaydin Island is the longest unbridged barrier island in southwest Florida. It is an important part of Survey Area 1 for the Dolphin Explorer. It has also become a favorite nesting spot for the sea turtles with its 8 miles of pristine beach. This beach alone has averaged 150 nests per season, and as we heard from Jamie, in 2012 there was 308. Roughly 1 out of 1,000 of the hatchlings will survive to adulthood. This is because they are an ideal food source being such a small size. Tropical storms and hurricanes are also a threat because they can wash away the nests. And don't forget that pollution is very bad for them. Plastic takes about 1,000 years to biodegrade, so make sure you clean up after yourselves at the beach.
Do you see any other species of sea turtle on Keewaydin?
Yes, actually we do. We get a green sea turtle. She comes every other year. She lays about 7 nests, but she's very mysterious. She has eluded us all 7 times last season, but we know it was her. Her tracks are really different than our loggerhead moms, and she makes this giant mess.
That's amazing. Well, great. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you.
Here are some photos of a green sea turtle that I actually saw when I went diving in the Florida Keys. Because these sea turtles are endangered, there is so much being done to protect them. Shrimp trawlers use turtle excluder devices, or TEDs, on all of their nets. This is a simple trapdoor which allows even the largest turtles to escape from their nets if they're caught. All developments along the beaches are required to turn off visible lights during nesting season, allowing the hatchlings to find the ocean. They naturally find the ocean from the reflection of the moon and stars on the water, so they can get confused by the artificial light. Hundreds of workers and volunteers like Jamie search the coastlines during nesting season to survey and monitor the nests. The Conservancy of Southwest Florida has been monitoring Key Wayden Islands since 1982. All of these combined efforts have stopped the decrease in their population in some areas.